So, some of us now may be feeling heavy and tired after lunch, right? So, some of us who are feeling, let us do some exercises for it. Lee, can you guide?
Yeah, we do a very short, easy exercise, okay? And can everybody raise one of your hand, just one, and put the hand in this L shape, and then the other hand, use the thumb finger and the index finger, and press this
Flesh part.
flesh part between the index finger and thumb finger of this hand. And when you press in, as a healthy, normal person, you may feel there's a little bit pain and a little bit numb. Is everybody feeling that? Yes. Yeah. So, if this is we call kind of a powerful mama point and acupuncture point. And if you feel sleepy, headache, dizzy, constipation and diarrhea.
A kind of, say, any stomach issues if you have eaten a lot or acidity or gases, you can use this deliberately any time of a day.
Okay, let's go back to our topic.
Yeah. So, question.
Yeah, Doctor, our topic today is about fasting. Actually, we are just like support to Anila's topic about New Year. So what is fasting actually?
Fasting is not about starving or losing weight. Actually, fasting is done when an intention is set and a vow is taken. And sticking to it is also very important. You know, that is why some of the people like me who do fasting to lose weight can never achieve.
So what is the benefit of fasting?
As you can see, we have listed down some benefits of the fasting, but in a nutshell, we can say longevity. Who doesn't want to live longer? So that is what it is. Please fast.
Yeah, as we Chinese, ancient Chinese, we also have a saying, and eat less and live longer.
Mm-hmm.
So is everybody suitable for fasting?
Yes, you got it right. Everyone, literally everyone is suitable for fasting. Of course, there are certain conditions to it. And Ayurveda intricately explains that some of the conditions are contraindicated and be taken precautions before doing it. So these conditions could be like diseases due to the increased Vata dosha, people with excessive or uncontrolled hunger and thirst, emaciated, weak, children's, very old, and pregnant lady.
Oh yeah.
And those people also who have excessive jealous anger or other psychological extremities, they should also.
Yeah, in Chinese medicine, we also say, like for people who need to take extra precaution, if you are very old or you are like children, or for example, you have disease like a kidney system disease.
Yes, you are right. Kidney diseases are a type of Vata disease. Basically, it is a condition where the proteins and the muscles in your body looses up, and then your bones show up.
Oh yes, like that's why when Buddha, when his body have this kind of symptoms show up, and he decide he probably knew he need to stop. So what are other conditions we need to be aware during the fasting?
During physical fasting, there are certain other conditions or factors to be taken care of, like age, body type, stamina, metabolism, and even weather. It plays a key role in deciding how much and what type of fasting one can do.
Oh yeah, I noticed here we're in this chart we're saying that in the weather when the pitta is increased, and that's the best season for fasting.
Mm-hmm. Actually, this is the season when the immunity is the lowest one, and also according to Ayurveda, the diseases are very much active in the blood, and therefore when we fast at this time, the effect of the fasting is the best. If you got to choose in a whole year when you could fast, you can choose this season.
Oh yeah, so That's very interesting because in India, that's probably is the autumn, and in China, it's springtime.
Very right. So you have to know, according to your place, what exactly the season I am referring to.
Yes.
During fasting seasons, we also need to take care of certain contraindications. Those are like this: applications of oil on the body and the scalp, beautifying oneself, sleeping in the daytime. Of course, that also happens a lot of time. Whenever we feel tired and we nothing to do, we go sleep. That's contraindicated. Indulgence in sexual activities, extreme physical workout, or even smoking or consumption, any intoxications, alcohol, or even caffeine, coffee or tea, both included.
Doctor, I experienced one time during my fasting experience that I have a severe tooth pain, but that tooth pain go away after at the end of the fasting.
Yes, that is a natural process basically of the cleansing of your body. When you do your fast, it's cleansing your body. And now the body is trying to remove your toxins. You are strong and your prana is very sensitive. Since that is why body is trying to heal itself. And that is what you should do. What we can do at that time? We should like to keep on doing the fasting until we reach the last stage of the fasting and getting there. And sometimes the existing deep diseases or certain old diseases may flare up or may show up, and it may make you see the conditions have gone more worse during the fasting time. So you don't have to do anything. Unless it is a life-threatening thing, you can keep on doing the fasting and you see that the results are there.
Yeah, and there's another question. As a female practitioner, and during my monthly period time, and if I want to, sometimes if I feel my body is weak, and if I want to continue on fasting, is there any advice?
As we have already seen in our last slide, that it is you can choose what to do. Either you can choose to get out of it and come back, or you can actually take some liquid, nourishing liquid, and get to it and continue.
So what are the benefits of fasting?
Before getting to the benefits of the fasting, let me go more for the how much can you fast.
Okay. I don't think I will ever reach that limit yet.
So that is what Ayurveda puts out there. Actually, according to Ayurveda, 21 days of consecutive fasting is your limit. You can fast until 21 days without water, of course I'm referring to, for 21 days. And if you go beyond this, it actually takes kind of eating up your tissues itself, like your body building up tissues are eaten up. So that is what you should do. Usually in our daily routine, both Ayurveda and Chinese medicines, doctors do advise only a little bit of fasting for usual day-to-day activities. 3 or 7 days is, I think, sufficient for most of us.
But of course, like Yeshichu girls, she can fast several years, and that's different.
Yeah. That is for due to like Nyumne is quite different, so you can.
Yeah, we can talk about this later.
And you know what is the severe consequences of over fasting? There are list of it. Like even from cracking of the skins and the joints, malaise, cough, dryness mouth. You can go on the list of excessive fasting. The most severe effect it is that you can die.
Yeah, so be careful.
And I also, we were just listening to the contraindications. We should also know when to stop our fasting. So there are certain signs what we can see that our fasting is successful. This is one. And one of the first important thing is the completion of your vow.
Yeah, and I also noticed like during my practice of some consecutive union, and at the later part of the session, my memory is getting sharper, and my concentration is higher, and also I'll be able to hold my headstand asana much longer.
That is because your body has detoxed and it is creating more space now into it. Not only body, even the mind and the other things, also brain. So that is creating more space, and you can do more now after that. Talking about Nyungne, actually it's a very unique practice. According to me, consecutive fasting is different, and in Nyungne, you go in and out of fasting several times. And that is the thing which can detach you from the food as a source of energy. So think a point when food is no longer a source of energy and only the nature is. So you can do more than that, man.
So we come up with, based on our research and experience and knowledge, and a suggestion and cycle of example of like how can we do Nyungne like more safely to go in and more like come out successfully. And
yeah, Miss Lee have practices all this what we are actually writing up right now. so this was the regime for the 2 consecutive Nyungne practices. So
in here we are putting on 2 consecutive Nyungne.
Yeah. So let's say on day 1, which we can refer to as a preparatory day, should be followed like, the first food should be like a Rasayana food early in the morning, followed by 2 balanced meal. Then on the second day, we do a partial fasting kind of thing, starting with warm water, then rice gruel, followed by 1 balanced meal for lunch. And if you still feel like having something, you can go on with having the tarpana drinks. On day 3, which is a complete fasting day, you can practice the thing. Then on the day 4, resume to the second day's routine. Day 5 would be again a complete fasting day. Day 6, we resume back to day 2's routine. On the day 7, which would be the concluding day for the Nyungne, we would return back to the day's 1 meal. Now, as we were discussing a lot about terms in over here, let us see few of it.
Yeah.
I talked about balanced food. So what balanced food is? It is something which will nourish our body with all the nutrition it needs to fight and to live long. And for an example, we can say rice. But I know in India, basmati rice is considered as one of the most...
Let's don't go there.
It is important. So we
anyway,
say
the Bhutanese red rice is a really good rice.
The best one preferred by Ayurveda. Yeah. Apart from that, the moong dal, the green lentils, would be the source of other energies. The rock salt is also important. Rock salt is the red crystalline salt I am talking about. And the other things you can see, oats, water, free-range cow milk, not the one who just lazy around, cow ghee made from the curd, and the aged honey. The other thing is Rasayana food. Rasayana are basically those food which enhance your immunity. So there are a lot of it in there, and black seeded raisins, black seeded dates, cow ghee, honey, and definitely linseed mushrooms.
Yeah, please
you can
take
see
a look.
The pictures in over there.
Yeah. And for example, like one thing is we mentioned about the seeded date and seeded resin, and this is very important because modern days people like for the convenience they remove the seed from the food. Actually, there's a lot of energy being removed.
Okay.
The last one.
Now, coming out of the fasting, how to? It is also as important as going in and doing the fasting. If you do it wrong, you will actually can see a ladder type of thing. You will tumble back to 0 and you achieve nothing. So the idea is step by step. There shouldn't be any hurry in achieving your back to the normalcy. As step by step will actually increase the Agni and metabolism and get to your normalcy. And of course, this one, feasting. We all love doing it after fasting. It is not at all recommended prior and immediately after fasting. That is the most problematic thing.
Yeah, and like I noticed that some of us, like before the completely no food day, and that lunch we try to eat a lot because we think like next day we have nothing to eat. And then also when we come out from fasting and we feel like our body is weak, so we try to eat something. For example, like some of my Bhutanese sister told me they will have a tradition, has a bowl of ghee and to take after the fasting, and this is highly not recommend.
Yeah, that would be counted as overeating because this will make you very weak. Actually, what happens when you do fasting, the blood goes into your vital organ to do all its work. The moment you take heavy food or large quantity of foods immediately after fasting, all of the blood gushes into your stomach for the digestion, and that what it causes a lot of weaknesses. So just the idea is step by step, everything is done with it.
Yeah, and if you can consider like what we proposed and taking in your practice, and definitely during the New Year practice or after the New Year, there will be no fatigue.
So do we have more time? Okay,
So we can do a little bit more.
Yes.
And so we come up with put a small menu, and for your New Year practice.
Of course, we won't be having this for right now.
And this is a very easy menu, and it took consideration of all the points we have mentioned. So after the presentation, if anybody interested, you can ask the organizer and to share the menu. And
there is another style of fasting. Say that is 1 meal a day.
Which is highly recommended in the Ayurveda point of view for the health, even for the health.
1 meal a day means absolutely 1 meal. Apart from water, you shouldn't be eating anything. And these are things what it says. Enough time to digest all the food you have. Only eating enough source of nutrition, calculating calories, vitamins is not enough actually. Digesting and absorbing is too important. So that gives you enough time to food to digest, and none of the food is wasted. We all know the importance of food and how not to waste it. So, and even that, your digestion system gets a break, and the system of immunity can work well for the repairing of the body, which is done. And also for the Vajrayana practice, it gives you a lot of enough time for your practices.
Okay.
So this was it.
Thank you very much.
That conclude. Thank you so much.